What's up, everybody? It's Rick. Welcome to Planet Zoo, the new game by Frontier Games, the same people who brought us Planet Coaster, as well as the Jurassic Park Zoo franchise game. Unlike Jurassic Park, there are no dinos in Planet Zoo. There are lizards, however, and a lot of amazing animals. Honestly, the animals in this game are simply breathtaking. I'm really looking forward to showing them all off to you guys. We're going to be doing a franchise in this playthrough. There's a career mode I played around with, which I think is supposed to be a stand-in for a tutorial, but I don't really appreciate this sort of a tutorial. The method that they use, they sort of drip feeds you information. It's a little bit slow. The order in which they teach you things seems to be a little bit out of whack. Anyhow, I feel it's better just to go online, read some forums, watch some videos, because there is a ton to learn, alright? I certainly don't know everything. I know enough to get us started, and hopefully I'll learn more with you guys as we play along. So let's go ahead and get our franchise started. I've already got a name picked out. I'm going to call it Ricktopia. And with the franchise, you can start zoos around the world. Different sorts of zoos on different continents. We just got rewarded conservation credits. We're going to use these to buy things. This is a sort of in-game currency, and I believe the way it works is as we breed animals, we can put them on the market and we can sell them for conservation credits, essentially. It's a sort of in-game currency that players trade with one another. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started with a new zoo. It's going to cost 100 conservation credits. I'm going to make a tropical zoo in North America. I'm going to call this JURIKSIC Park. Get it? All right. Here we go. First zoo. Exciting. So I've started a few different zoos just to figure things out. And hopefully, like I said, I know enough to get us off the ground. So here we go. We've got a visitor center and then a whole lot of nothing, guys. I'm going to hold on a second until I see, there we go, that little warning pop up. This is an alert telling us that we need 7 different buildings for our workers. We're going to need a keeper hut, quarantine, research center, staff room, trade center, vet surgery, and a workshop. We're going to need to hire some people as well. We're going to need to hire caretaker, keeper, mechanic, security guard, vendor, veterinarian. But before we do any of that, I'm going to go into barriers, and I'm going to start building us our first animal enclosure, okay? And there's a bunch of different options down here. I'm going to go ahead and switch this on to curved. And I'm going to build our first little wall here, a little baby wall up the length. And I'm going to start to just play around with the shape of this thing. Curving it and bending it. Control Z is a thing in this game too, which is amazing because there's going to be several times you're going to want to undo what you've just done. And I'm making it unconventional shape here because in previous zoos that I built, I tried to build things on grids because that's sort of the way my mind works. It's just grid-based and organized. But grids in this game just simply aren't fun, you know? Like, you want to be adventurous with what you're building, you know? You want to just let it look all natural, organic, you know what I mean? So this is the strange little design that we made, and it's very large. I called it a strange little design, but truth be told, it's gigantic. Each one of these walls is 20 meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into thirds. But before I do that, we're going to place some stuff inside of it. So I built the walls first because next thing we're going to do is build our paths. And I'm going to use light asphalt because it's going to match the asphalt that the visitor center has. And again, my organized mind likes that. And I built the walls first because there is a very important option to check in here. And it is the snap alongside barriers option. So this one will allow your path to just snap, and then as you build, I'm going to go back on this one though because I don't like the way that that's hanging out there. That's going to drive me a little bananas. There we go. It'll snap along the barriers and make it nice and uniform. For the most part, at least. There we go. So now we've got an animal enclosure, and we've got the path. So I talked about wanting to place something inside of here other than animals. I'm going to go into this little heat map. So here you can check animal welfare, habitat, temperature. Ooh, it is a scorcher out there, guys. 42 degrees Celsius, my goodness. Water, power, which you can see is only in the visitor center at the moment. Buildings, which we have none. Negative impact, guest education, and finally, happiness. So water, you notice that there is no water. If I go to facilities, and then I go to utilities, there is a water treatment, and we're going to want to make sure that we're treating the water in our animal enclosure. So I'm going to place a water treatment in here, and strange that I'm choosing to place it in the middle of here. And I'll show you what I'm thinking as far as this goes. But then I'm going to take my power as well. There we go. We're going to get some power over here. So if I go and I look at my power now, you can see that now we have power in this part of the zoo as well. Okay, so with those two things in there, I'm going to delete a wall. There we go. Deleting that wall. And then I'm going to go to paths. And there are special kind of paths that only your staff can walk on. And they're called staff paths. And I'm going to take a staff path. Excuse me, I've got like a frog in my throat. I'm going to make it 4 meters. I don't need it that big. And then okay, I want you to snap onto the other one here if possible. I may have placed these guys a little bit too close to one another, so let me move them. There we go. Put a little distance between them. I Control Z'd, and then that wall came back. In case you guys were wondering what's the deal, why'd that wall come back, there you have it. Okay, so I'm going to place you there, and then I'm going to place you... Actually, I want to get this just right. You know what I mean? There we go. You there, and... Come on, come on. Just... You see what I'm trying to do? That's what I'm trying to do. Come on. Get in there. You know what? Actually, here's what I think I can do. I think I can move you. There we go. I can. That's what we'll do. That makes it a lot easier. Okay, so now we've got water and we've got power in our place. And I want to make sure that this isn't going to be unsightly for my patrons. So if I keep it inside the enclosure and people can't see it, then they're not going to get upset by it. There we go. All right. Oh, that is not connected. Let's try that one more time, huh? There we go. Connected. Okay, so now we've managed to hide our water and power within our habitat area. And then I'm going to just divide the habitat into thirds here so that we can have 3 different types of animal in here. There we go. We got this area here, then we're going to make 2 areas right here for our animals. So, barrier. Let's go big time barrier. And ya. Come on. Connect ya. And connect ya. There we go. So there we go. There you have it. We have 3 different animal areas. There we go. And we need to still build those buildings that we were talking about at the beginning of the episode. So let's go ahead and go into our facilities. We've got ourselves 7 buildings in all. Keeper hut, quarantine, vet surgery, staff room, research center, workshop, and trade center. So we're going to start with the trade center. This is where when we purchase an animal, we will pick them up. And I'm going to send the trade center, I'm going to back it up a little bit. Trade center, right there. And just like we did with the utilities, we're going to use a staff path right there. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got 6 more buildings to place. Let's go ahead and place the quarantine and then the vet center. So the quarantine, I'm going to place right over here. I'm going to go ahead and have a little fun with it. Rotate it. And I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to check to make sure. Okay, good. So guests, like I said, don't like to see these sort of things. In addition to the utilities, they don't want to see that. It's unsightly. They don't even want to see our staff facilities. So I want to make sure that they don't intersect with any of these paths, or else it's going to have a negative impact on the guests. And then I'm going to delete this here and make this, there we go, employees only. Okay, next up, we're going to place a vet surgery. Go ahead and spin you right round. There we go, vet surgery. That'll probably be a good spot. Go, and once again, delete path and place path. There we go. So that's a nice little employee area there, but there's still several more buildings, 4 more to build. So let's go ahead and do a staff room. Staff room, otherwise known as a break room. We'll place the staff room over here alongside this one here. As a matter of fact, let's hit X and then we'll fine-tune it a little bit. And like I was saying before with the exhibits, just organic. Sort of, I don't want to put them in a row and look too uniform and organized and frankly boring. We're going to have fun with the way that we place these. There we go. Have a building there. And now we've just got 5 more. Okay, research center. This is where we're going to learn about our animals. Research center I will place right here. Is that too close? Let me see. It is just barely, but that's fine. We can modify that. That'll do. All right, paths, delete, and build. There we go. And then finally, 3 more. Let's do it. Facilities. We've got our workshop, our trade center, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we only have 2 more. Workshop and trade center. That's it. Those are the last 2 we got. Okay, workshop is gonna. No, trade center we built first, right? We've got the trade center. So what are we missing? We need the workshop and the research. No, we built the research. We need the workshop and the keeper hut. Excuse me. Okay. Workshop and keeper hut. We got this. Okay. We'll do the keeper hut there, and then we'll do the workshop right over here. Then if I do a path, should just be able to. There we go. Feed you right into there. Delete these paths real quick, and there we go. Okay, so that is the area for all of our business needs. Just gonna put it right over here, and we're gonna need to hire all of our people now. So let's go ahead and do it. Caretaker, hired. And we can hit play while we're doing this as well. Keeper, you hired. Mechanic, hired. Security, yep, you got a job. Vendor, we're going to hold off on, and we're going to take a veterinarian. There we go. Everybody's got a job. Welcome aboard, everybody. So now that everybody's been hired, it's time to start getting some animals. But before we do, one last thing that we want to fix about this habitat, other than this corner. Hold on. I'm going to fix this corner real quick, because that's driving me a little bit bananas. I'm going to make sure that this wall goes all the way to the corner. There we go. And we want to make sure that people can actually see the animals. So I'm going to double click on the wall, and then I can actually just begin to stretch this all the way around, in fact. There we go. And then simply press glass. There we go. Now, all of these walls have been magically turned to glass for our guests' viewing pleasure. There we go. And then glass there. There we go. Now we've got glass all around this place. It's going to make a great animal enclosure. Oh, lastly, how are we going to get the animals in there if we don't have doors? So I'm going to go ahead and plop a door down here and plop a door down there. There we go. Last door is going to have to go into this enclosure. I will plop you down. There. All right, perfect. Everybody's got doors. Everybody's hired. Everybody's got jobs. We've got challenges as well, so we're going to try to get to $500 in souvenir profits, $1,000 we're going to be rewarded with by adopting 2 different animal habitat species, and if we get 300 guests in the zoo, we'll get another $1,000 dues. Stuff to look forward to. So let's go ahead and start hiring some animals. Hiring, purchasing, you know. There's a bunch of different filter options, but you can buy with regular currency or with the conservation credits, and we're going to do both. And we're already filtering by Okapi. These are cute little deer/zebra things. I have fallen in love with them, and I think we're going to try to adopt some, all right? And I want a breeding pair. I want a male and I want a female so that we can have little Okapi babies, preferably. We're going to look at the stats. These aren't terrible stats. 50% size gene, 52% longevity gene. Fertility gene's great, and immunity gene is pretty spot on as well. But they're a little spendy. They're like 145 credits, and I only have 200. I don't have a ton to spend. So maybe something a little bit more in our price range. This Okapi, genes aren't amazing, to be quite honest. This male Okapi, those are some pretty good genes that you're wearing there. Some pretty good genes you got. Oh my goodness, fertility gene is 0. Okay, we're going to buy this Okapi. So we've got ourselves a male Okapi. Now we just need to get ourselves a female Okapi. That gene's terrible. This one is middle of the road. I'm going to do it. There we go. So the first animals that we're going to get are a couple of cute little Okapis. Now that we've got them, they're in our trade center. And we can take them from the trade center and we can move them. We're going to move them to quarantine. I'm going to put them in quarantine just in case they're sick. We'll be able to catch it before we put them into our park. There we go. Both of them are on quarantine, and then we're going to speed things up until they're done with quarantine. And while we're waiting, we're going to start sprinkling some stuff around the park, some guest facilities. We're going to start putting down some donation boxes. In addition to the very meager earnings that we make from ticket sales, the main way that we're going to make money is with these donation boxes. And it looks like our Okapi are ready to leave the habitat. So let's go ahead and go to quarantine. And then we can click all, move to, and we'll put the Okapi in this front habitat. There we go. They're delivered, scheduled to be delivered. While they're waiting, we're going to go ahead and just keep placing these donation boxes around the park. Here, we're going to place one over here as well. Donation bin there. Donation bin over here. Come on. We can place you. Come on. There we go. Right there. And right there. There we go. Donation boxes all over the place. So there we go, guys. Our Okapi have been delivered. But guess what? They're not going to be happy right out the box. Look at how cool they are, though. They're amazing. But if I go back and look at their stats, welfare is not too good. Nutrition and social is pretty good. Habitat is the big problem here. Not to mention enrichment. We can't do anything about this enrichment at the moment. We'll talk about that in a little bit. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that first. because the sooner we can start researching that enrichment, the better. Let's go to zoo and go to vet research. We can assign our vet to research stuff. In addition to all of these different viruses and diseases, they can learn a little bit more about the animals that we have at our zoo. So we're going to research Okapi level 1. We're going to learn some about this animal. We're going to learn how to feed them better food. Once we get to rank 2 and then 3, this little icon here, that is the enrichment toy. And down here is the enrichment food. Enrichment toys and enrichment food are just ways to keep the animals challenged and active. At the moment, we don't have any of that stuff unlocked, so we'll have to research it in order to get a better understanding. But for now, we can address the habitat problems. First thing is a hard shelter. They want a place to sleep. So let's go to habitat, hard shelter, and then we can actually search by Okapi. So they're going to like any of these shelters. They're going to want something that is of a certain size. If it's not big enough for them, then they're not going to be happy. And I'm going to place it right back here. There we go. That's their shelter. In addition to that shelter, I'm also going to put some bedding down for them. There we go. Just some piles back here. There we go. Some bedding. And that's not going to do it, though. They are happy with that hard shelter, but now they need terrain and they need plants. So let's check out what kind of terrain they like. They like a little bit of short grass. They don't like a lot of long grass, and most of the stuff that we have in here right now is long grass. They love soil. So let's start replacing some of this long grass with soil. Go to terrain, go to paint, go to light soil, and then start to just swap out the grass for soil. No problem. And as we do that, you can see that slider. Long grass is going down. Soil's going up. Okay, so soil's like right in the middle now. Pretty good. Pretty good. So in addition to just having soil, the terrain's flat. Flat and boring. So let's start to manipulate that. I'm going to start to sculpt the terrain by just making some hills and whatnot. In addition to hills, I'm going to give them maybe a watering area, you know? Place to come and cool themselves. You can make a little bit of divots. So like over here, I'm going to start making a divot in the ground. The reason I'm doing this is I can go to water. And we can drop some water in there. There we go. I made them a little watering hole. So because I put the water filtration system over here, if I look now at my water, I'll be able to keep that water clean and pure for these guys. And so long as I have a watering hole that they can access, as long as the slope to the watering hole is gentle enough, and I want to actually make sure that it is gentle enough. Let me remove the water real quick, because it may be a little bit too steep. So I'm going to flatten the surface here, if I can. $2 intensity. Let's bring you down a little bit. Okay, now let's try putting in that water one more time. There we go. I think that that should be good enough. I think that they should be able to come up and drink it, I think. I hope. We'll see. Can I put more water in it? I think I could maybe put one more drop of water in here. Holy crap, that's probably too much water. Let's remove it. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. Let's fix this. Okay, water. Okay, so now that there's water, terrain's been manipulated a little bit. They're going to want some short grass, so let's give them a little bit of that. Short grass. Okay. Little short grass. And then also they love rock. And we don't have any rock in here, so let's give them a little bit of rock. Go. And we've hit most of the sweet spots now. They're going to be happy with the terrain, but they want some plants too. They're going to need a lot of plant coverage. You can see that the slider, they love plants. And look at this, research has been completed as well. Research level 1. So once we learn a little bit more about the Okapi, then we're going to get that toy enrichment. Hopefully we'll be able to hit that by the end of the episode. Okay, let's go ahead and build up some plants now. So for the plants, they like Africa and they like tropical biomes, which is perfect because that's exactly what we're going for in this playthrough, this zoo that we're creating. So Africa and tropical, and let's start plopping down some trees and stuff. There's this tamarind tree that I'm actually quite partial to. These tamarind trees are cool looking. I'm gonna place one of those, and there's another ginormous tamarind tree that we can place. There we go, ginormous tamarind. What other kind of trees can we place? Oh my goodness, that one is way too... Those trees are ginormous. Like, ridiculously big. Okay, let's place some bushes. Okay, what else do we got? We got these bird's nests. That's a little bit too small. Anything a little bit bigger? These ones are of a decent size. Okay, so plant coverage is starting to increase. Coastal mangroves are kind of neat. I like to put them in the water themselves. There we go. Custard apple trees. Delicious. And anything else fun to play with? We don't have a ton of choices when it comes to tropical and Africa. So we make do with what we got. Well, we're almost there. There we go. Nailed it. All right. So, if we go back and we look now, our animals are very happy with pretty much everything except for the enrichment, and we're going to get that enrichment soon. So there you have it, guys. That's our first habitat. And I think not so bad, all right? Our Okapi, I think they seem happy. Okapi are happy. And how are our guests? Speaking of happiness, let's check in. The guests, ticket price is great. The zoo feels pretty small. It is. I suppose the view of the Okapi from here is fine? Question mark? That little comment confuses me. I get that comment quite often, and I don't know how I can make a better view because this looks incredible, quite frankly. And look at the glass. The glass is already starting to break, which is super concerning to me. I'm going to send a mechanic out, all right, to come fix this. There we go, yeah. Call that mechanic. Go fix that. Barrier status 66%. We're going to need to make sure to keep an eye on that. So I think they do just deteriorate after time. Like if I look at this barrier is also at 66. I think it's the entirety of this enclosure. What about this one? So the entire barrier, everything, is 66%. 62 now. Okay, so hopefully when they work on the barrier, everything will get fixed. I hope so. But I want to make sure that these people, their views that they're talking about, is there a way to tell what the view is? Like, I can tell their happiness, energy, thirst, education, all that stuff, but I can't really tell the view. All right, well, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about that later. Last thing I'm going to do before we wrap up this episode is I'm going to put the finishing touches on this facility. I'm going to teach these people a thing or two about these okapi. So I'm going to get educational habitat here. Go ahead and flip it around this way. And these are just legs. I'm going to put up some information about our okapi. Right here. So now with the legs, I can go ahead and place, there we go, you right there. And there we go, go okapi, there we go. Now there's a okapi billboard there. Some okapi information. And I'm going to place one over here as well. One more billboard, there we go. Some okapi information for you. And probably one over here as well, you know? Make sure that they're getting information from all angles. Oh, geez. That was a accident with the Control Z. All right, let's try that one more time. Copy. Oh, you know what I can do, actually? I can just go Control D, and I can actually copy these. I got to remember that. Okay. This time, it's going to work. Damn it. Go X. Rotate. There we go. Check. Billboard. Check. And okapi. And guess what? That's not enough, guys. We're going to want them to hear the good word about okapis. So there we go. I'm going to put down one of these. Wait a minute. Actually, is this educational speaker, usually when I place these, it'll show me the range of these. Oh, you know what's happening? It's this stupid thing. Go away. Why is it doing that? I don't want... There we go. Education. There we go. Shows me the radius. I'm going to place them right where the billboards are. Great. All right. So there we have it. Our first exhibit, and we learned more about the okapi. So now we can finish it up by giving them some enrichment. All right. Habitat. Okapi. And their toy is a sprinkler to keep them cool. So I'm going to put a few of these sprinklers around this habitat area. There we go. Sprinkler here. And a sprinkler there. There we go. And that should keep our okapi really, really happy. I can check their welfare right now. And it's at 82%. Once I get that second enrichment item, then they're going to be at like 100. We've got some very happy okapi who hopefully will be having babies soon. Oh, and you know what? They're not going to have babies if I can't feed them. So let's go ahead and make sure that we have a food trough for them. Feeding stations. We'll put in a medium food trough. There we go. All right, guys. There is the start of our park. JURIKSIC Park is open for business. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you guys are, let me know by giving this a like, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. Do you guys got tips for me? Leave them politely down below. I'll read them as soon as I can. And did my barrier get fixed yet? It didn't. Where is my mechanic? All right, guys. Until next time, I've been Rick, and I'll see you guys later.